Trail Joe here. I wanted to bring you an interim update on our experiences with the Trail Tech so far. I have promised that I will do an install video as well as some running videos, and I do plan on doing those, but I want to get a few features and items fixed before I publish those final videos. It's something to be aware of. We were on a pre-order. This is a brand new unit, so there are going to be little glitches and gotchas. So far, Trail Tech has been very responsive and is looking to get those taken care of. And a few of them are still unconfirmed as well. We haven't been able to fully validate them. During the install, one of the things that we noticed is that some of the cables that were included, including the tach sensor and the temperature sensor and even the power cord, were extremely short. They were anywhere from maybe a half to a third of the length that they needed to be for our two-seater RZR, not to mention what it may be on a four-seater or longer vehicle. So Trail Tech has determined that they shipped the wrong cables in the first UTV kits, and that they do have the correct cables. Those are on their way to me, so I will get you an update on that. At the end of this video, I will go ahead and give you the links of the cables that were shipped to me, just so that you can kind of see them and understand how short they are. Another thing that they have acknowledged and they're working on a fix for is the RPM sensor does not work very well on this, at least not on all installs or machines. There's a problem, I guess, with the sensitivity. So that's coming in a firmware update shortly, hopefully in the next few weeks. The only time that we've been able to get an accurate RPM reading off of it is when we're coming off of the gas and basically idling downhill with a little bit of an engine brake system. That's the only time that the RPM seems to show correct for us. At all other times, it's all across the board. We did also have a little bit of a problem with our dock in that I thought this was a friction fit. It was quite difficult to press in when we received the unit, and I was not able to get it out at all. The unit I received was actually shipped, and there's a locking mechanism on it, which I wasn't aware of. I didn't see in the instructions. Either I overlooked it or else it wasn't in our instructions. That's the purpose of this Allen key. I had no idea what the purpose of the Allen key was, but there's a small hole here that you can insert the Allen key into, and there's a set screw that you can turn in there that will prevent this button from pushing down and releasing the unit. So if you're in maybe a race situation or something like that, you can lock the unit so that it can't be taken out really at all. I mean, it locks it in there very securely. I think that if you attempted to pry it out, you would damage either the unit or the mount. So that's something to be aware of. If you have received a new unit, some of them may be coming locked from the factory, and you just have to turn that screw clockwise or inward. They say 6 turns to release it. So now so those are kind of the confirmed things they're working on fixing. Now on to a couple of the items that we've found that we haven't been able to fully validate yet, and we're going to do a little bit more testing, and they haven't been able to validate or confirm or heard from other customers about these issues. One is the ambient temperature sensor here on the unit. We've been comparing that to the ambient temperature sensor on our ride command, and we've seen that this one registers at least 10 degrees hotter, and we've seen it register some ambient temperatures close to 110 degrees while we were in Moab. According to the weather forecast and the reported highs, it got nowhere near 110 degrees. It was in the mid to lower 80s, but obviously that can vary with terrain and where you're at. So we have also checked it against, again, the ride command temperature sensor. That sensor is located in front of the radiator on the RZR. So I would expect that sensor may actually read a little bit hotter when we're running at slower temperatures, because we're going to be getting radiant heat off of the radiator affecting that gauge. Yet this one inside the cab in the shade is showing quite a bit hotter. So we're going to be doing some checks here in the coming weeks. We've got some lab grade thermometers we're going to take out with us, as well as some other electronic and non-contact thermometers, and we'll check how accurate that is. Because I was expecting to get a more accurate ambient temperature reading off of this than what we get on the ride command, simply due to the location. The other item that I have not been able to confirm is we do see a wide variance in the speedometer reading. So we're seeing roughly 5 miles per hour difference at speeds of less than 30 miles per hour. reported by the trail tech versus the ride command. Both of these are GPS readings. They're not wheel sensor readings that we're going off of. So that's a pretty big variance. There hasn't really been signal or reception quality issues when we're seeing these problems. We've got good solid satellite signal. We've checked the screen on this. No problems there. Now, I did just do a firmware upgrade on our ride command, so the bug may be on the ride command side. We're going to take some additional GPSs with us and double check to see which one of them is giving us the most accurate numbers. Not super critical, but obviously if you think you're doing 30 and you're actually doing 35 and a police officer pulls you over, saying that your unit isn't accurate probably may not fly. 5 miles per hour isn't that big a deal. We haven't gone faster and compared to see if it doubles, if it shows 10 miles per hour difference when we're going 60. I do want to reiterate though that this is a new unit, so we are going to have some firmware problems and some other little issues along the way. That's just kind of expected with anything brand new. Otherwise, we have been very happy with the unit. We will give you a full install showing all the sensors and how they go in and things along those lines once we get the permanent cables or the final cables that should have shipped. And we will give you some up-close running views with the unit as well, showing you all the different screens and the setup and the configurations and the different pieces and parts that you can turn on and off, as well as give you some details of our experiences so far on the maps. One thing I have noticed is I think they need to do some color changes or some detail changes on the map, because if you have a lot of the map details turned on, elevation lines and hill shading, you can't really see the roads or the trails. One huge advantage that we've seen off of this unit so far compared to our ride command unit is the ride command unit mainly has trails. It doesn't have any of the roads to get to those trails, whether they be dirt graded roads or county roads, things along those lines, where you may park in a staging area, and on the ride command we just kind of have to pick a heading and go in that direction and hope that the roads get us there. This does actually show a lot of those county roads. It has also shown all the trails that we've seen on the ride command. I have seen on this. We've done limited riding in Colorado and Utah thus far, but so far it does seem to have a fair amount of detailed trails built in. So I hope you've enjoyed this update. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to see future videos, and we'll keep you updated on our progress with